this is for all you runners. So have a great yoga for runners workout plan for you. So runners tend to have a lot of tightness in their IT band and their hamstrings, a little bit of lack of flexibility. But this workout's gonna help open up your hamstrings, open up your hips, hopefully kind of get rid of any IT band issues. So it'll actually help you prevent injuries as you run a little bit more, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start in a downward facing dog. So that's an upside down V. So fingers are spread, and you can start by pedaling your feet through a few times. We're gonna be here for about 3 to 5 breaths, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. And then once you've done this, then you're gonna come into upward facing dog. So upward facing dog, the knees are lifted off of the ground, looking up towards the ceiling, really opening through my chest. And then we're gonna go ahead and come to a standing position. So I'm gonna come into triangle pose. So I'm gonna go ahead and step my right leg forward, bring my arms out to the side, reach as far as I can, and then lower that left hand to my shin or to the ground or to my ankle. But I wanna keep my gaze up towards that hand as I allow my chest to come back. So this is a great way to open up those hamstrings, this particular pose, but this pose particularly you want to keep your kneecap lifted at all times, and then you're going to repeat this on the opposite side. Next we have sugarcane half moon pose. So think of it as like traditional half moon, where you balance on one leg, lowering that same arm to the ground, reach your arm up towards the ceiling. If you're having issues balancing here, then keep your gaze towards the ground or towards your foot. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab hold of your foot or your ankle and just open up your chest a little bit more. So this is a great way to stretch out that quad, especially if you've been doing a lot of sprint intervals, a lot of hundreds, a lot of 200s. So doing this little sugarcane half moon pose is just gonna kind of open up the front side of your body. But this is an advanced pose, so if you can't quite get here, you can also just hold on to your half moon pose. All right, we're gonna take things to the ground. Once you've done this on both sides, holding for about 3 to 4 breaths, we're gonna come into our bound angle. So you're gonna sit nice and tall, grab hold of your ankles, and then just pull your feet towards you. And you can, again, use your elbows to bow forward and hold right here. This helps open up those hips. Once again, as runners, we tend to have a lot of tightness in our hips, but try to allow yourself to get a little bit deeper with each breath, okay? So you're gonna be here for about 4 breaths. Then we're gonna go ahead and move on to our hero with eagle wrap pose. So I'm gonna grab a hold of my blocks because I have a little bit of tightness in my hips and knees. Feel free to do the same. So what you can do if you have access to a block is you can slide it right underneath your sit bones. Get nice and tall as you can, and draw the heels as close to your hips as possible. And then you're just gonna eagle wrap the arms, palms together, fingers up towards the ceiling. This is a great stretch between your shoulder blades. Think about how many times you swing your arms, even if you run just 1 mile. A lot of tightness and tension can build up, especially throughout your back, throughout your thoracic spine. Once you've held it here for about 3 or 4 breaths, then we're gonna unravel and take it to the opposite side. Again, shoulders stay relaxed, elbows down, and fingers up towards the ceiling. Okay, let's go ahead and put those blocks off to the side. And I'm gonna go ahead and you can either grab a towel or a band, it's totally up to you. But what we're gonna do is reclining pyramid pose. So I'm gonna lie on my back once again. And this is gonna be great to stretch out those hamstrings. So it's a great way for you to physically control how much or little tension you need. So I'm gonna start with my right side since I'm a righty. And I'm gonna extend the leg up towards the ceiling. On my next inhale, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that leg a little bit closer. And I want to make sure both sit bones are pressing to the ground. Every part of my back is pressing to the ground, and I'm going to have what we call dorsiflexion in my feet. Especially as runners, you got to have a nice dorsiflexed foot. That'll help stretch out the back side of that leg. So once we get deep into this side, then we're just going to go ahead and take it to the opposite side for 3 to 4 breaths. Okay, we can put that towel or put that band off to the side. Now we're going to come into reclining cobbler, or what we in yoga like to say, Baddha Konasana. So lie all the way down on your back. Actually, before you lie on the back, you want to place those blocks underneath your knees, especially if you have tightness in your hips. You're just gonna, once you get the blocks nice and secure, then you can start to take your weight all the way back, and feel free to make any necessary adjustments that you need to. Keep the lower back pressing to the ground, and as you get more open and flexible in your hips, maybe you can start to change the height of your blocks. Maybe you take it to the next lowest setting, and then eventually you don't need those blocks anymore. Okay, we're gonna hold it here for about 4 breaths. Bring the knees together and rock it all the way up. Now we're gonna come into the reclining wide angle pose. So I recommend that you do this up against a wall, but if you don't have a wall, it's totally fine. You're gonna take the blocks once again. You're actually gonna put them just right underneath your arms or shoulders, okay? Get the legs nice and high, reaching all the way up towards the ceiling. And then you're gonna go ahead and open the legs and just allow gravity to do what it naturally does. Just imagine that there's a wall up against my legs, and we would call this sort of like a legs up the wall variation. So you can do this with or without the wall, but if you have access to a wall, I just recommend that you do it this way because it'll feel a little bit more relaxing. All right, just gonna go ahead and take one of those blocks that I have, and now we're gonna do head to knee pose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of create like a little figure 4 shape with my legs, and put the block directly in front of me, and then just release over that front leg. So if you have a lot of tightness, especially in the back of your hamstrings or in your thighs or your calf, this is just a great starting point. Especially if you're a runner, you're doing anywhere from 3 to 5 miles, or you're training for a half marathon or a full marathon, chances are the legs are gonna be pretty tight. So do yourself a favor, grab a block or a chair, just do whatever's gonna help you allow to kind of get a little bit deeper into that hamstring, but nice and slowly. So you'll do this for about 4 to 5 breaths, and then you'll just go ahead and take it to the opposite side. And between each side, I would just notice which side that you can fold a little bit deeper. So part of having a good yoga practice is finding that symmetry between both sides of your body, and most of us are pretty imbalanced. So when you're able to practice yoga pretty regularly, then you can sort of balance yourself out and become a better runner, because that's what it's about, right? It's yoga for runners. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.